And so remember here, we really welcome you to come as you are. There's no judgment, there's only openness, there's love, there's curiosity that we bring to our shed. And yeah, and the more faces we see on video, the better. But if you prefer to have your video off, it's also okay. But just always know that about us, that there's just openness and love and receptivity. I always say, come as you are, and here we are. So lovely to see your face, Kiana, Michaela, lovely to see you. So thank you all for joining us tonight. And yeah, it feels like the real first week of the working week. And I'm sure we're all trying to settle in our different ways. I had my youngest who received his matric result yesterday, so there was that excitement and euphoria of that, and so settling from that, and also back at the office. So, and it is 7 p.m. Lovely Cape Town, where I know Kiana is. The sun is still bright and out, lucky her. But let's just take a moment to just settle from our day. So if it feels okay with you, wherever you find yourself, just placing your feet on the ground, then feeling into the seat beneath you as the weight goes down, as a way of arriving here in the here and now. And if it feels comfortable for you, see if you can perhaps soften your gaze or maybe soften um, your eyes to a spot in front of you. Or if it's even more okay with you to even close your eyes and see how that feels. So, whatever that's most comfortable for you. So, taking in a slow breath in through your nose, then taking a long exhalation through the mouth. In your own time, doing two of these, inhaling deeply through the nose and a long exhale through the mouth. I will keep quiet for the last one. See if it's comfortable to let your shoulders soften, let your jaw unclench, let your breath find its own natural rhythm. Notice the quality of your energy right now. We're not judging it. It's just a notice. Is it busy, tired, curious, perhaps heavy, or just open? So whatever it is, all is welcome. Now gently bring to mind the idea of shedding, of letting go, of what is no longer needed for the season ahead. You might silently complete the sentence for yourself. This summer, I'm ready to let go of, or I'm ready to make space for. So taking in one more breath in, and as you breathe out, feel yourself arrive fully in this moment, in the here and now. And whenever you're ready, slowly open your eyes if you had closed your eyes, or bringing in sight back to our Zoom screen here. And good evening. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We're so excited to bring our 2026 Summer Shed. It's 5 years of our spring shed that it's running, and we are refining it, fine-tuning it as we go along. And we have now cut it down to 10 days of really structured, 10 days of realigning our bodies, resetting our mind and bodies. And so we very happy that those who have joined us already and signed up, we're happy to journey with you through those 10 days. And those who are still on the fence and wanted to hear more tonight, that's what this call is all about. And even those who are going to be listening to the recording, we're here to just give you an overall idea of what the shed is. The shed is not your usual detox program where it's stringent, but it's really what we ask here is that for you to listen to your body, to know that the body has its own wisdom. And we're going to be asking you to really listen deeply as we go along in this 10 days, what your body's calling you out for. Some may choose to cut out meat completely. Some may choose to cut out alcohol and coffee. But those others may say, already I've cut out alcohol and I can't give up my coffee. Maybe it's reducing it to one coffee instead of three coffees. But whatever that your body's telling you, please listen to it, knowing that each one of us is uniquely made. And this shed is for exactly that, that we do realign. There is a guided recipe. There is guided formats of exercises or movement, if you choose to use that word. I think movement is more expansive. It allows us to think beyond the box and not think being hard on our bodies. And we're also going to do mindfulness practices. And one of the practices that we're going to be beginning with is the body scan. And why we begin with the body scan, it helps us to really fall awake to our body sensations. At first, when you practice the body scan, you may find yourself wanting to fall asleep, but truly, the idea of the body scan is for us to fall awake to our bodies and to feel into sensations of what's happening internally. And you'll see we're going to have some breath work, different breath work exercises that we've recorded for you. And we also have just your basic sitting meditations. The idea is to have succinct, short practices that can be done on all our busy lives. So expect about between 10 to 15 minutes of practices, and you can even cut it shorter for yourself. The idea is that each day, each practice is done and it's ticked off, and it's also enjoyable. We're not here to punish ourselves, but we're here also to um, get our bodies comfortable, reignite our bodies, re-energize ourselves. So the idea is an invitation of curiosity, of openness, of friendliness and kindness to our bodies as we go through this 10 days. And with that, I'm going to ask Jax if you are happy to share why you've come onto the shed with us and what the benefits have been for you. I think you're muted, Jax. It's okay. We'll give you a minute
There we go. I'm here.
Oh,
Sorry.
awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dee Dee. I did the spring shed this last year for the first time, and the reason, firstly, that I could do it was 10 days. I think you did it for a month previously, and I thought, well, 10 days I can definitely manage to fit into our busy lives, and it really was great, and it was intense but lovely. I think what I liked is just the time to focus on oneself, to do the meditations. I love doing meditations, but my general life is like, oh my God, I'm not going to get to that. And I tend to leave that kind of thing out, and mindfulness. So every day you had something to do, quick 5 minutes, 10 minutes max. And I just felt completely grounded. By the end of the whole journey, I felt like so at peace. In terms of the eating side of it, I love the fact that there was a meal plan. The recipes are simple enough for me to follow. No, not a million things on each menu, that each plan that you have to get and then try and work out how to cook it and all of that. And also just to know, like, breakfast, I'm going to eat that. Supper, I'm going to eat that. Because I often find just being the difficulty is actually choosing what you want to eat and then saying, okay, well, is that healthy? And at least I knew everything is laid out. It's healthy, it's clean and delicious mainly. So, yeah, and I think I just enjoyed the time where you're focusing on yourself and what you need. And yeah, just at the end of it, felt really, really happy and grounded and managed to shed the stuff that I wanted to shed. So yeah, not in terms of weight, just other things. So, and so far so good. I'm still not smoking and I'm not drinking during the week. Well, I'm back to that after the holiday. But anyway, that was my stuff. So yeah, I'm back on again for round number 2.
Oh, Jax, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you for such a beautiful sharing, for your, yeah, just really speaking so beautifully and so authentically. And this is what it's about. This shed is really just about bringing our full self. And as you say, sometimes it's not shedding the weight, it's much more. And you've just shared so beautiful. So that's really appreciated. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Nix and Sal to just touch on a few things for us in terms of menu, diets, and yeah. So Nikki H and Sally, over to you.
Hi, everybody. Sal, before you kick off, I just wanted to make a comment on the coffee thing, which I just feel convicted to say. And I know Dee Dee's been very kind and given everybody a lot of latitude. But I really would like to challenge you to try the no coffee for a little while, even if it's a few days. I know some of you are going to say absolutely not, and we all agree our shade is our shade. And if you go from 3 cups to 1 cup, that's also good. But I think it's about thinking through, why do I need the coffee? And sometimes it is for the energy, for the upper, um, to keep me going, to wake me up. And if that's the why, I would challenge you to try not have it, because my experience from giving it up during my shed is I have the most incredible energy and sense of peace without coffee. I always go back to it because I love my coffee. I try and limit it to 1 a day, but it is quite an astounding thing when you get it out your system, how different you feel. So that's my little challenge before we go into the eating plan.
Thanks, Nix. Yeah, and to add to that, if you really are struggling, green tea is a good way to get off coffee to start with. But welcome everyone and happy 2026. And I'm so glad. Well, thank you, Jackie, for your lovely share there. It really is great to get feedback and to remember why we're doing it. And I'm so glad myself that the summer shed is so soon after the silly season, because the older I get, the more I need this kind of thing to get back onto the health wagon after a full festive season. I'm certainly not a all or nothing person. It's all about balance. You can get so stressed about cutting out things that the stress itself is worse than actually having it. So it's all about finding the balance. And in the summer shed, it's everything that feeds you. It's not just the food on your plate. So we want to find the balance in every sphere of our lives. And even though Nix Hutton and I focus on the menu, we also look at the atmosphere around a meal. So we are spiritual beings in a material world. It's good to pause, to give thanks, to choose slower and to chew more, being mindful of tasting the different elements of the food, and to have good conversations around a meal and not stressful conversations, because our bodies react. If you're in an angry atmosphere, what you're eating, your body's going to remember when you eat that, and react in a similar way. So we want to keep peace around meal times, and moving after our meals. And we'll also be giving you a great tip to stop those late night snacks. So join us to find that out. And we'll be adding in the good and crowding out the bad. So it's not this radical fad diet. One man's food's another man's poison. So you mightn't do well on meat, and the next person might prefer and do better on seafood or chicken, or a vegetarian diet. So we just, as Dee Dee said, we need to listen to our bodies. We need to tune into our bodies and take back the power, and stop giving it away to experts. We know ourselves better than anyone knows ourselves. So let's walk together, hold each other's hands, because we're all in it. It's not like we dictating to you guys. We also needing to get back onto that wagon and get our sustainable way of living back in step. And one good way of just starting is to think about 3 things you need to change in order to have a healthier body, and mind and soul. So you know what those are. Write them down now if you can. And then as we go through the shed, try and tweak baby steps, just adding in little good habits, and naturally the bad will fall away. So yeah, over to Nix.
Thanks, Sal, and yeah, thanks, Jax, too, for sharing your experience. A little bit about the menu plan. Our sheds always give a lot of latitude. So there's a list of things that you should avoid. So that's generally the glutens, the sugars, the dairies, alcohol, and coffee. And there is a list that you will get, and then foods that you can eat. And then there's a menu plan with recipes for absolutely everything. You don't have to strictly follow the menu plan. If you find it easier to grab the Woolies roast chicken and do a huge a batch of grilled veggies, and that's just food, a quicker meal, that's also fine, as long as you eat within the suggested parameters, because that'll give you your best outcomes. I think this year, if we had to put a theme, although it's probably a theme for many of our sheds, we like this idea of food as medicine. And I think at our age and stage, I'm kind of hazarding a guess that we're all women in our 30s to 60s, and maybe the odd man thrown in on the side. But I think we probably all recognize, Kiana, you probably maybe a little bit younger than that. I don't know, forgive me. But I think we also develop symptoms in response to lifestyle. So it can be joint aches and pains. It can be, you've put on weight, your sleep might not be good, mood, a little bit anxious or depressed. And I think often food and lifestyle tweaks are such a good way of mitigating and fixing some of that, rather than turning to a doctor and popping onto a med that could also do it. I think our bodies are such powerful machines. So the eating program it's for 10 days. The first 3 days is more vegetarian. Thereafter, you can include fish and chicken, but you have the option on any of the meals to choose a more plant-based beans, lentils, chickpeas, tofu option. And we encourage you to try, if you're not somebody who cooks a lot with tofu or with beans, to try and get that diversity and be curious. How does this meal taste if I use something different? And when I say diversity, I think it's also a huge premise of our shed is, and specifically for me as a psychologist, I think so many mental health issues stem from the gut. We know our gut is our second brain. And so our emphasis is on a lot of plant-based, a lot of fiber, a lot of color and diversity in your diet. You want to try and eat a whole rainbow every week of a lot of diversity. So that's encouraged, and our recipes bring in, by the end of the week, you'll have 30 plus plant points from all of that. Hydration is also obviously a really, really important thing. So we encourage you to drink 2 to 3 liters of water. I try and actually almost take my bottles of water into my office, so I actually know this is my 2 liters or 3 liters, even better. And by the end of the day, to try and finish it. So set a little plan as to how that looks for you. And then this year we've got, along with the mindfulness and breath work, we've got a nice little surprise movement exercise, which next might mention, and then a 10-minute more strength-based movement. I'm not going to say workout, but it's just fun and something that I think is nice at the beginning of the year to just get us all back into moving and building a little bit of strength. Yeah, I think that's enough from me. And I'm going to hand over to Nex. Oh, I forgot. Nex, are you going to mention the journaling? No. So I don't know who was mentioning journaling. Anyway, the structure of our day, I think Dee Dee touched on it, is generally on the WhatsApp group, you'll get a bit of a structure for the day. It always starts with a quote, and then we'll always give you a journal prompt. So we encourage you to do your mindfulness or breathwork in the morning, and then end your day with a little bit of journaling. And again, if you're not somebody who thinks you like journaling or have never tried it, to just use these days to test out different things. You might get to the end and go, actually, this is really for me. And I was talking to Jax's son this holiday, and he talked about how he had started journaling and how it has been so life-changing. And so sometimes we start something which we don't think is going to make a big impact, and after 10 days we actually realize we get quite a lot of benefit. So this is a great time to just try on different things, try on different clothes, and see what comes of it.
Thanks, Nix, and thanks, Sal. And just to say that those recipes are really divine and very easy and simple, and that's how they're designed. And I mean, I've obviously continued to do some of my favorites, and some I hadn't even explored yet. And our sons, the other day, I made this green omelette, and they both absolutely loved it. And then a couple of the other dishes. And I mean, we've got 14 and 16-year-old boys who wouldn't necessarily like the healthiest food. They love a Prego roll and things like that, but they absolutely love the recipe. So these are sort of family friendly, and so don't feel like you're going to have to exclude your whole family on the shed. You can often include your family. So just to introduce, we haven't actually introduced ourselves very much. For those who don't know me, I'm Nicola Aylward, and I'm a physiotherapist, a women's health physio, mindfulness and breathwork practitioner. Didi is a life coach and mindfulness practitioner. She's doing her master's in mindfulness through Bangor University. We all wear many hats. Nikki's a clinical psychologist and a functional medicine coach, and Sally's an integrative nutrition coach and specialized in food technology. And so we've all got, and many of us have overlapping roles as well. We're all mothers, we're all busy, we've all got other jobs and sort of a lot going on in our lives. And the shed is designed to fit into and around this, because we know we can't. This is about small bite-sized practices that are going to make significant differences to our lives. It's lovely to go on retreat and to sort of really have time to ground, but many of us can't do that. And many of us have come out of a holiday, like me, had a wonderful holiday and then had a busy time at the end, and then have caught this lurgy, and I actually just need time to ground and time to look after myself. And this is what the shed will allow us. So it's also a time of bringing a little bit of the ritual and the sacredness. Sally talked about blessing food and prayers of gratitude, and this is the sort of thing that we're bringing into the shed, is a lot more awareness of the sacredness of life, of the special moments, of the enjoying something mindfully. So we hope that you'll join us on this journey. As we've discussed before, there'll be multiple mindfulness and breathwork practices presented. We'll guide each day to which ones we suggest, but there'll be a number to choose from, all simple, all effective, all ones that you can use beyond the shed. And you'll have access to beyond the shed. Things that bring in like heart coherence, Wim Hof kind of breathing, stress breaths, all that sort of thing. Then last spring shed, we had our nitric oxide exercise, which we did 3 times a day, and there were a few people who managed to do it. 3 times a day for all 10 days, which was phenomenal. And there were some others who came really close. But nitric oxide is one of the body's main signaling molecules. It's a molecule of joy, actually. And when we move our bodies, we release nitric oxide, and which is why we feel so much better. But this is literally a little 2-minute exercise. This time we're adapting it slightly. It will still be nitric oxide, but we're also going to have a focus on lymph drainage and fascial release. So it's a lovely, simple little exercise that you'll have a video of that takes you through it. And within 1 or 2 times of watching the video, you'll be able to do it by memory. And we do this, and it can make a huge difference to how we feel, and how our body moves, and how we shift the lymph and the stagnancy. That's something else that I offer as part of the shed, is a lymph drainage protocol, which I'm doing quite a lot at the moment for myself to help to drain a lot of my stuckness. And I think a lot of women and men in their 40s, particularly 50s and 60s, start to experience a lot of stagnancy as a lot of our lymphatic ducts become blocked by all sorts of chemicals, fragrances, perfumes, pharmaceutical chemicals. We kind of go into this overload, which leads to this stagnancy, which can lead to puffiness of the face, puffiness, muffin tops around the belly, this around the arms, where things get stagnant and stuck. And this is what the little 2-minute exercise plus a little lymph drainage video that you can do whenever suits you will really help you to shift the stuff through our body. And then, as Nick mentioned, there's a 10-minute little strength exercise, which does not have to be done every day. If you do your own gym, if you do some other practice, you can choose to do that. But if you're feeling like you want to do something more, or you don't have something that day, but you've got 10 minutes, this is a really great, fun, effective little strengthening exercise for 10 minutes. And then one thing that we all share in common, the 4 of us, is that we are all essential oil wellness advocates, or doTERRA wellness advocates, because we all use doTERRA oils and products in our lives so much. Can you see my little visual? And hopefully not all the other gunk that's on all the other stuff I want to share on my laptop. So we find that these tools are very effective. They're very simple. They are nature-based. They're powered by essential oils, which makes them so effective. So we put together little kits that are not essential, but they can really help to up-level your shed. You don't have to get all of these products, and there are others as well that one can include. One can choose to get 2 or 3 and make your own kit. Just going to talk you through some of the basic ones. So MetaPower is our core oil. It's a combination oil. It has some citrus oils, peppermint, grapefruit, peppermint, cinnamon. It's all about regulating blood sugar levels, curbing cravings, decreasing the size of fat cells. We use it internally. We can use it topically. We can use it for lymph drainage and for dry brushing. We can rub it onto the areas of our bodies which require more love, the parts of our bodies which we really don't love. So it's a great oil to add if you are wanting to focus on energy regulation, curbing cravings, and losing weight, or just toning. Then there's Serenity sleep capsules, amazing for helping to sleep. Many of us find we wake up at 1 or 2 or 3 in the morning, and when we take those, it helps us to get into a very good pattern of sleep. So I find that I can go for months without taking them, but then I start to get, after a while, something will maybe trigger a bad pattern of sleeping, and I find myself waking up earlier or waking up in the night, and then I reset by taking 2 Serenity capsules every night for a period of time, and that really helps me. And clients who've taken it in the past, who use Apple Watches to sleep, I don't check mine, say what a significant difference they see on their feedback watches. Then there's PB Restore, which is a dual encapsulated probiotic. It's got prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics. It's designed to be released. I mean, it looks amazing because it's got a clear capsule, part of the capsule, and this dark green part. It's designed to release at different parts of the digestive tract. So it supplies different things to different areas of our digestive tract. Again, well, it's one of the most powerful probiotics, if not the most powerful probiotic on the market, and can make a significant difference. We've seen significant differences with our patients and clients who have struggled or have used probiotics before, and this can be really helpful, especially if you struggle with constipation or flatulence, or irritable bowel syndrome, any of these sort of irritable digestive tract syndromes. Then we've got Copaiba, which is fantastic for inflammatory support. It works on our endocannabinoid system. It helps with pain, it helps with inflammation, helps with anxiety. It's similar to cannabis oil, CBD oil, but it doesn't have any hallucinogenic effects, and it works on our peripheral nerve receptors, not our central nervous system. So it's good for pain, good for anxiety, good in combination with serenity for sleep. It just calms everything down physically and emotionally. And then there's the adaptive capsules, which are phenomenal for mood, for anxiety, for stress, for focus. Many of us around, again, in menopausal time, struggle with remembering names, remembering, memory, concentration, brain fog, that sort of thing. This has got 7 of the oils that are really especially good for brain and brain health and memory and concentration and focus. So it's brilliant for us. It's brilliant for our teens. Our kids use them when they're studying for exams. Also for focus for sport. I always use them before I do a presentation. They really are incredible for stress and focus and concentration. And all 4 of us can give you our own testimonials on every single one of these. If you choose any of these 3, you'd get an additional oil, which is citrus bloom, which is a beautiful, like, pure fume, a perfume that's a natural perfume. It's also, I know it's one of Nix's favorites. It's definitely one of my favorites. I carry it around in my bag all the time. And again, we're decreasing our toxic load. We, as beautiful as certain perfumes smell, they really do increase as women's toxic load and cause endocrine disruption. I'm sure many of us are seeing this all over our Instagram feeds these days, that all these fragrances are not great for us. And this is a way to bring fragrance that smells absolutely amazing. It's also got properties of uplifting mood because all the citrus oils uplift mood, and can smell great and make you feel great. So that's included. There are other lovely products like the Deep Blue polyphenol capsules, which are very good for pain. There's the turmeric duocaps, which have just been released this month, which are combination of turmeric oil, essential oil, and the turmeric powder, and the 2 together work phenomenally well. And again, there's nothing like that on the market. We can either get turmeric powder or turmeric oil, and yet they have very different properties. So that's just to tell you about that. And if you are interested and would like to take this on, chat to the person who introduced you to the shed or contact one of us, and we'll help to guide you through get a little cart together for you. You can order these. You can do it before the shed. You can do it during the shed. You can do it after the shed. But they really do up-level things. And as I say, we all use them personally in our lives on a regular basis. Also, I didn't mention, starting from next Wednesday, every Wednesday morning, I do a mindful moment, and that will be part of the shed. You don't have to join it, but it's a slightly extended mindfulness session. We tap in a little bit of what's happening with the moon and the stars, because the full moon and the new moon really do affect ourselves and our bodies and our menstrual cycles and often how we feel. And it's part of us coming back to ourselves and coming home to ourselves. So that's a little bit of a wrap up. I know we wanted to end on a poem, which we'll share with you. There are 1 or 2 touch base calls on our on the shed, they're not compulsory. So there's really no schedule to the shed. There's nothing that you have to be at a certain time. It's all to fit in with your life. And if you're in America, you can just as easily do this as if you're in South Africa. So if you've got a lot of other stuff going on, you can also plan your day around this. But it helps to really ground you and start your day off on a really effective and positive note. Yeah, so there's a short touch base call where we just see how everyone's going and if there are any questions. But I think before we move to questions for this evening, I think we're going to wrap up with, I don't know whether it was Nix or Didi who was going to be sharing that.
I think Nix can share with us the poem. Thank you. Next Sage.
Let me find it. I'll share. It resonated a lot with me. Okay, so
All of us.
I heard this on holiday and it just resonated a lot. It's called Suitable Clothing. And if a thought arises that you aren't familiar with, you should perceive it, form it into words, try it on in front of the mirror, and if it suits you, start wearing it. Rediscovering yourself, trust its guidance. For this is how the soul calls. It asks from within for suitable clothing. I'll read it once more. Suitable clothing. And if a thought arises that you aren't familiar with, you should perceive it. Form it into words, try it on in front of the mirror, and if it suits you, start wearing it. Rediscovering yourself. Trust its guidance. For this is how the soul calls. It asks from within for suitable clothing. I just thought it was so pertinent for us with the shed because I think there's something about the shed that challenges us in a different way and invites us to try on different clothing. So yeah, I look forward to walking this journey alongside all of you. And if there are any questions about absolutely anything, please feel free to ask on the call or to reach out to any one of the four of us. Don't be shy.
Yeah, so
enjoy
you're
your
all
evening.
very welcome. Yeah, otherwise enjoy your evening, but we're going to hang out a little bit if there's any questions that you guys have.
Thanks, Linz.
So the link to register is thespringshed.com and you'll find the registration and payment there, and then we follow up with an email to you and we get you going. We're sending out the recipes on the 15th of January so that people can prep over the weekend. So the sooner you register, the better. Thanks, Deeds. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Linz. Thanks, Kiana. And also feel free to invite your friends. You know, we all know that we felt so much better after our latest spring shed, and that's why we really knew that we all have a busy December coming up, too much of everything. And we felt we wanted to return to a space that we were in prior to December, which had been carried over from the spring shed, which we did in September, and felt in a really good place from it. And so this is as much we're doing it because we really loved it, and so our own personal testimonials we could share with you because it was such a special time. And so we really invite you to, well, encourage you to invite friends because it can really transform where people are feeling. And if they're feeling stagnant or sad, going through hard times, or just feeling like they need to refresh things, this is for them. And just to get a bit woo-woo, 2026 is all about the new. Numerologically, to 2025 was a 9-year, 2 + 2 and 5 is a 9-year, which is all about endings. 2026 adds up to 10 or 1, which is all about beginnings and manifestation. And there's a lot astrologically that's happening, which is all about this time is all about planting seeds. That's why we're starting it on the new moon, which is an amazing time for planting seeds. It's a wonderful time for setting our intentions. New Year this year was on a full moon, which is not a great time to plant seeds or set intentions because it's very outward energy. If you plant a seed, if you're a biodynamic farmer and you plant a seed on full moon, it sort of shoots very quickly. It doesn't root and ground. It doesn't sink in. And so this is the time we've aligned it with the energy of the moon. This year is also the year, last year was the year of the snake in Chinese, which is all about shedding our skin. And this is of the running horse or the fire horse, I think. So we want to set our intentions of what we are moving towards rather than just being buffeted around by this world that we find ourselves in, because we really do get buffeted in this world if we don't set our intention and steer our own course. So thank you all. We will share this recording. We'll have a recording for you to share with others if you'd like to get it. Just get a hold of one of us or message on Instagram or on any of the groups that you're on. And Jo, yeah, I'm so pleased because I know Jo's got something else going on and she's wanting to join. And so I think it will still fit in with you and align with you. So we look forward to having you. Good night, everyone. I'll see you in the shed.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye bye.